How's it going, everybody? My name is Ben with the Ben and Bev channel, and today we are going to be talking about WandaVision Episode 4. If you have not seen the rest of the series up until this point, I would go ahead and watch that before checking out the rest of the video. So the episode rolls out with a little more introduction into Monica Rambeau's character, who is formerly known as Geraldine in the previous 3 episodes. It shows something that happened to her post-Endgame, or I guess post-Infinity War, post one of the snaps, and we kind of get a glimpse of some chaos within a hospital as she's reanimated with hundreds of other people inside of the building as it's being used. And it's a really tense way to open up the episode before leading us into how exactly she ended up inside of Westview. We also get an introduction to FBI agent James Woo again, who is in Ant-Man and Wasp, if I remember correctly, as well as Kat Dennings' Thor character, and how they're all investigating what's going on within this town that appears to be held captive by something we're not really sure at this point. And it was also pretty funny because there's a lot of jokes and jabs at sitcoms as well as the very show that we're watching itself. And I think it's good to put those jokes in there because it is such a weird show, at least you're aware of it. So some pretty big things that were definitely more on the spoiler side was we got some more developments on how exactly the force field works, or at least things it can do. They would be sending drones through, and that helicopter that's sent through became retrofied, as well as when the one guy goes through, his outfit turns into the beekeeper's costume from the 2nd episode, and you start to see how the real world stuff can change as it goes in there, and how even people can be changed when they're in there. They start to realize it's all real people that are inside of there and track down everyone's names and try and find ways to reach across, whether through radio wave or whatever it takes, to just try and contact someone in there and figure out why. And I think the more weird aspect of it this episode was just getting to see that alternate ending of the ending of last week's episode, with more dialogue from Scarlet Witch, and us finally having the realization that this is Wanda that's doing this, and she throws Geraldine out and sends her away, and as she's realizing that this reality is broken and she's not sure how much she can sustain it, Vision walks in. And at this point, I thought he looked a little like maybe they didn't finish the CGI, so they're leaving him out of focus in the background, so I paused it and rewound it, and then upon playing, they zoom on his face, and I'm not sure if it was the reality or if it was just how Wanda was seeing him, but he looked as he did, dead and lifeless after Thanos ripped the skull from his head. And they both discuss how they can't leave this reality, and here we are. And at that point, Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix starts playing, and you have to rock out. That was a really fun and strange way to end the episode. This week's episode is it's kind of a retread of the last 3 episodes, I'm going to be honest. I can see a lot of people kind of throwing that away and saying it was a bit of a filler episode. I can already sense hearing that in a review coming up on Rotten Tomatoes somewhere. But I would say it was still worth putting into the story because it did add a lot more explanation, or at least detail, to what it is exactly we're watching. It gives us more of an outsider looking into WandaVision perspective as we get to see the points of view from the different government agencies and what exactly is going on with this small town held capture by this strange TV show. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be seeing you next time, whether it be next week's episode of WandaVision or perhaps the first Ramen Days review of 2021.